Okay, I think we need to find someone to decrypt the Aztec technology first. This would be my first case. Yeah, I have a question. I came by some data on my job. It's written in a foreign language. Maybe you could take a look. Yes, of course. Hand it to me if you will. Algernon sweeps his eyes over the information on your PDA. His mouth curls into a frown, then a grimace of disgust. This is an abomination. We would do well to delete it. I thought you said that you didn't discriminate when it came to magical traditions. You meet your eyes. This is a special case. What you have shown me, this should not exist. But you are looking for specifics and you will continue asking until you have them. Impetuousness of youth. Very well then, I will attempt to provide the clarity that you seek. There is great power in blood, Outmay. Can be used as a focus, a battery or a bridge. Blood mages of Tenochtitlan are widely feared for their proficiency in abusing this power. This project, this bloodline, seeks to abuse the power of blood in a novel and horrifying way. With the techniques described in this document, a spellcaster could use a person's blood as a magical conduit. In layman's term, a spell could be channeled through a father to kill his son, through a niece to kill her aunt, and anyone with a hereditary connection to the original target regardless of distance. Do you see the ramification of this, Aunt May? Do you understand what this means? Were the project completed, were the techniques described within to be perfected, no one would be safe. You could run and hide, you could go to ground, you could bury yourself a mile in of concrete. It would not matter. As long as technology can find a blood connection to their prey, they could target them, and it would be fatal. He hands back your PDA information intact. It is yours, Aunt May. You have heard my counsel. We'll leave the rest to you. I'm inclined to delete the data. I'm certainly not gonna release it to the wild. Hmm. Kami grins at you, all spark and mischief. Hey there, how you been? Yeah, alright. Okay, nothing really for her to say. What can we do? Return the data, and I decide what to do with the data. What does it mean? How do I decide? When do I decide? Okay, notify Luca Doer that his task is complete. I talked to that exec. He'll fall in line after he gets his pants thoroughly dry cleaned. Excellent work, runner. Perhaps you do have a future in this town. Here's your bonus. 1000. And we have 10,000, so. Blitz looks grim. His customary table is littered with cigarette butts, and the heavy bags under his eyes tell you he hasn't slept in a while. Aunt May, you don't look so good. No, I imagine that I don't. So I'm guessing that the rescue attempt didn't go so well. No, it did not. As it turns out, she didn't need to be rescued. At least not before I showed up. I don't really want to go into this, Chief, so here's the abridged version. I made a mess of things. With your world-class skills, however, how, however could that have happened? I don't know, Chief, I really don't. I hit the data node just like last time, and just like last time, navigating it was a breeze. At least it was in the beginning. Aziz must have beefed up their security over the past years. Well, that really shouldn't have come as a surprise. He shakes his head, a miserable expression on his face. It was all going so well. I guess I must have tripped something. In the blink of an eye there were alarms going off, then I had black IC bearing down on me from all directions. I thought I was a dead man. How did you make it out? Well, Emily found me and, he turns his head and looks away. She rescued me. I've been ecstatic to see. I would have been ecstatic to see her if I wasn't so ashamed. She didn't look particularly happy either. Did she make it out okay too? At the last I saw of Emily, she was being chased down by Black IC. They'd cut in a trace on her. Then she must have jacked out because she just disappeared. She looked really angry. Livid would probably be a better word. And that's about it. She's gone, Aunt May. He looks down into the cup of soy cap in his hand. I don't know if I'll ever hear from her again. Hey, at least she jacked out, so she's still alive. That's something, right? Yeah, I guess so. A cheerful tone chirps out from the terminal on Blitz's table. He jerks up in surprise and hurriedly turns to read the message on the screen. As he mouths the words, you can see the hope in his face flicker and die. If anything, he looks even more miserable than he did before. Message from Emily. He glances at you with red-rimmed eyes, then averts his gaze. Without a word, he turns the terminal so you can read the message on the screen. Congratulations, jackass. You managed to blow an up 5 years in the making and endangered Emily's life, all in one fell swoop. Thanks to you, we're going to have to work very hard to keep your ex alive. Don't bother looking for her again. She's being moved somewhere very far away. She never wants to speak with you again, by the way, idiot. Freedom, equality, information, Shuck and Writer. He clamshells the terminal close and puts his head in his hand. Well, at least you know that she was working for the Shuck Writer. His reply is dull and flat. Somehow, that's not a consolation. No, I guess not. Chief, let me ask you something. Did you suspect that something like this was going to happen when you let me go in there? Did you know that I was going to fuck it up somehow? Of course not. How could I? I don't know, I guess. I guess I'm just on edge right now. The fact of the matter is, you steered yourself into this mess. Stop lying, trying to lay the blame. Take a look at your own actions. The woman is to blame for this. She's totally to blame for this, not him. Blitz did nothing wrong. Blitz acted in a very predictable manner you'd expect from a normal person. in his situation. If there, the fault lies, I feel, in this on the agent who expects a person to act against his nature. Blitz, you wouldn't have to get into the details, but you would have just have to explain face to face with Blitz that you can't stay here, you're going away, and if you come looking at that, you'll contact him later. I mean, you don't know when, but or either cut the relationship. I mean, kill it for that. But so just go face to face and say and tell him, if you come looking for me, I might be I might die because of that. Something. I mean, sit down for 15 minutes and figure out something. Expecting, yeah, leaving a note that says, yeah, goodbye, don't look for me, and expecting that a hacker that's basically spends his time just fudging about in the matrix gather is a information gatherer, expecting him to just drop it there. That's the insanity, and fault lies entirely on the other side, I feel, in this one. 100%. You could say that surely Blitz, I suppose you could argue that surely Blitz should have trust Emily and just leave it at that, but you can't play that trust card one way, it goes both ways. Surely Emily should have trusted him enough to basically at least tell him that it's what I'm going to go away. What is going to be very dangerous for me is if you try to. I'm going undercover. It's going to be. You're going to get me killed if you try to look for me. Just and leave it at that. Basically, if she has no intention of going on with the relationship afterwards, she should have just killed the relationship with him and left it at that. I mean, this is just a predictable outcome of a very botched up actions on the other side. It seems like a very unnatural act in any way. Same with a lot of our conversation in this game. I feel the person basically writing this has a vision of how he wants things to go, but there hasn't been another person basically to go over it with him. So he's like my missing the drone off spot button for a long time. There's no one there to point out the obvious problems with this. That's what you'd really, every time you want to put something out into the public, you first want some kind of peer review before you do that, to point out those, make improvement suggestions, things like that, so you can at least anticipate certain things and sort of nip them in the bud before they grow into bigger problems. Here, this is a story, but I don't see this ever happening, not like this. The similar problem could arise where one screws up a similar operation like this, but not like this. It seems like a bad B movie, but it's not very convincing. I don't also like the options either. have here. Take it as a lesson in humility. It's good for you. Oh, that's horseshit. Okay, the fact of the matter is you steered yourself into this mess. But this isn't the this is another bad option because steering into a mess like this should be it has to be very predictable. If you do this, just because the consequences of this time were terrible does not make the action splits to in any way bad. It would be if it was very predictable that every time you do something like this, or most of the time, you're going to end up in this shit and in this trouble, then it would be bad. It would be you steered yourself in this. But if you such a negative basically consequence drops from out of nowhere, what he did was nothing wrong. He should not learn from this because he didn't steer himself into a mess. There was no way of him to know. That's the point. He tried to contact them, tried to sort of get what is going on. When they denied the information, the predictable reaction was that he was going to go after it until he knew what was going on. And because they tried to deny all kinds of information and contact, they caused the job. It was predictable that the catastrophe was waiting to happen. So the predictability was on their side. On his side, it was a tragic consequence of an action that there was nothing inherently bad in them. So I can't say he steered himself into anything. Although I don't think it's good for you either. But I'm taking the first option because I think it's better than the bullshit option, although I don't like it either. I'd like to say you did nothing wrong. You couldn't have seen it coming. But maybe this is good for you. Some lesson. I'll never talk to the love of my life again thanks to you. Not to me. Yeah, not to me. It's to you. You were gonna do this whether I encourage you to do it or not. Yeah, I feel this conversation is horseshit. It's retarded. The game is putting the blame on us for something where there was nothing, we did nothing wrong really. And a simple message or conversation by the other side would have basically removed all the danger of the tragic thing happening. So I hate it that the butting rider is trying to dump the blame on our group. Sometimes that's justified. Here I don't think it is in any way. He's just I think he's basically chosen the wrong group to dump the blame on. And my reasoning is the predictability. Their actions predictably led to the problems that they could have easily chosen to avoid. Or on the other hand, we did nothing wrong, inherently wrong, and what we did was pretty predictable reaction to what we were doing. So if there lies blame for this, it mostly lies on the other side. So I don't like this, that we are arguing on which one of us was the reason that this went bad. It wasn't. Not at all. Not in the slightest bit. I was always going to mess this up, and now that you've acknowledged that you can make an effort to change, what a load of bullshit. The guy who wrote this is a fucking incompetent baboon. Yeah, I don't even want to read it. It's all shit. Very, very disappointed in that. I don't. I'm not disappointed in the fact that he's trying to blame himself, but I'm disappointed in that I can't point out the obvious flaw in that kind of thinking. Um, Overall, I don't think the guy is writing this game. I mean, the dialogue is competent. The story writer, on the other hand, I feel much better. It might be the same guy. Might be there was a time constraint. Also, there's a limit how much you can devote into something. So the more options you have in dialogues, it might require quite a bit more investment in resources into that, and it's not always worth the effort. The problem is in a role-playing game like this, it's what makes the game really in a lot of sense. So it's not like this. That's the strong point of role-playing games like this, really. So if you're going to do a half-assed job there, you there isn't the other areas in the game usually cannot compensate for that. It just weakens the game if you don't use the strength areas of your design to make the best of them. You'll never make a you can never make a great game. On the other hand, this problem, in my opinion, is mostly on certain conversations that aren't really all that much quest related. They're the side conversations with people. I think those are badly handled. They're not conversations you would really have. It's like he had no one to talk to about them. Not another person where he could ask, what would you do? Well, what would you say? He had his own line that he had thought about, and that's the trail rack he wanted everyone to go, no matter what type of character or personality they had, and that diminishes a lot of the role-playing aspect and replayability aspect too, because you can't play your character. You can play it in the sense that they can be mechanically different, but in these conversation outside quests, you really are often tracked into one track or another, and that's it. You don't have options. There's no nuance there, so it feels very unsatisfactory because it diverges so heavily from what you really want to do, and that's disappointing. Ooh, we don't want to do that, do we? I'm saving. I don't want to give them the PDA information about the data we found, but I need to know. Yeah, how do I? Can I access the PDA somehow then? I'd like to delete it, but I don't know how. Simi Kim leans against a wall, her head downcast and her face lost in shadow. Sensing your presence, she looks up, revealing a black eye poorly covered by concealer. And still she smiles at you. Hello, Aunt May. How are you? Are you alright? No. Who gave you the shiner? I don't know what you're talking about. Do you want something? Because I've got things to do, you know. Zack says he has a new sim for me, one with aliens and a little girl I need to save. She's waiting for me and I can't let her down. Uh, there's something going on around here. There's always something going on. It's the flux, right? It gives, it takes. Sometimes it takes more than it gives. And some things it takes are gone forever. Friends that disappear, family that dies, people like Monica. I don't much like the flux. In The Sims, you can have the same happy day over and over. You can skip past the parts you don't like, or replay the good moments as many times as you want. I can't think of any parts of real life I want to play over, and plenty of parts I wish I could skip. How did he end up here? I don't know. I was living on the streets since I was a kid. Had no family, no home. I got mixed up with some bad people and I had a bad day. Ended up owing them money. Too much money. I got beat up, pretty bad. Needed a doctor but couldn't pay for one. And I found Doc Escapo. Or he found me, I can't really remember. He said he could help me. He gave me the money up front. But he said I had to come back to him every month until it was time to pay him back. And I did. I really don't want to talk about this anymore, okay? Hmm. Hmm. Okay, what items do we have? We could use healing slash resurrection items. Okay, let's see the results. Results of our mission. Wait. Okay. Let's head back to base. We should have enough money now, I guess. Have nothing new for you, Aunt May, and we have no time to waste. You have Alice's money, and we need that information. Get to the rabbit hole and hurry back. We must find Claire before Firewing finds us. Can I talk to these guys? Dietrich raises a bottle as you approach. Again, boss, you need something? Any thoughts about the last run? You know, boss, living in Berlin, I never thought I'd get the chance to fight a blood mage. He shrugs. Guess today was my lucky day. Not sure how I feel about your freeing those clones. Might have been kinder to put them out of their misery. Shrugs. It's your call though. Any updates on Alexander? Nothing new. Okay. I was thinking what you told me earlier. You said that your idol was going to make you pick a fight when you couldn't win. He shrugs. It's bound to happen eventually, but at least we've done this. We had this conversation earlier. Aunt May, you need something? Yeah, thoughts on the last run. That complex needed to be buried. What they were working in there, it was an atrocity, Aunt May. I'm glad that we were able to put a stop to it. Saving the clones was a bold move. It would have been easier to leave them where they were and consider them collateral damage. She nods. But it was the right choice, Aunt May. We've got a job to prepare for. Yeah. Nothing to talk about anymore. In many ways, I would have just preferred that in some of the conversations, I didn't like where they go, they would have just put in an exposition and put a very neutral response there somewhere that basically says nothing, doesn't take sides or something like that. So if you don't fight the more loaded options, you have the option to sort of chicken out of the conversation, because you don't want to. If you don't like the conversation options offered, the ones that really make a statement about what the people is reacting, it's better to have your, or more preferable at least, to have your character have a way to sort of be neutral about that, then commit to something he or she really doesn't want to commit to or doesn't agree with. So my dislike is I didn't want to go in some of those directions the game forces you to take, no matter what. And I don't mean like having meaningful choices, I mean the exact opposite. I never had the choice to not go there. Yeah, delete the bloodline project data. Warning, this is a one-way operation. Deleting files is non-recoverable. Delete the file, delete the data. Okay, new messages. Jobs. Claim payments. If you are receiving this message, I have left the country or am otherwise unavailable. Don't worry, you'll still be getting paid. I made the appropriate preparations. In any case, Aunt May, thank you for helping me. Please do not attempt to contact me again. As far as the world and my former employees are concerned, I am buried under a ton of rubble. It is best that I remain that way. Goodbye, Ivan Jimenez, aka Fro Miller. Yeah. Sort of guessed that it would be her. A moment later, a second message pops into your inbox. Payment details. Yeah. We should have enough funds. Alice Fund 58,000. Transfer 50,000 to Alice's secured Crestic for payment. Account admin override password required. Current admin user Paul Amzel. Aunt May, please speak with me when you are ready to proceed with Alice payment, Amzel. Salt pay data. Financial records. 441. Post pay data for sale as Technology DNA donor list. Threat, kaboom! Maelstrom, you feel that shake a few hours ago? Not an earthquake. As the facility went sky high downtown. Boom! Can see the smoke from here. A friend of mine down there says it was a power spike that blew their generators. I doubt it. Only Shadowrunners have that sense of flair. Just, you're kidding me. That huge one that sprung up 6 months ago? These must have cost millions to build. Ruby. If it was runners, hope they got major payday. No way I'd go anywhere near an ASI facility without a trunk full of ammo and a mage watching my back. lumens. Honestly, the power spike version sounds more likely. I've walked past that facility and they have guards posted at the door 24/7, not to mention the automated turret systems backing them up. No way someone got paid to waltz through that scheisse. No way. Maelstrom. So dig this. Apparently there were some survivors wandering about a U-Bahn station near there. Some Bumona folks tried to see if they had accounts. Then one of them said something they had to keep running and they took off down the tunnel. Okay, Ruby. With a blast that serious, it's no wonder they found some people in shock. Tolstoy found that some post from the Bumona first responder said those guys were wearing some sort of hospital gowns. Ruby, they must have given it them. Maybe their clothes got blown up. Wraith-like. Maybe, but God knows what the Azzies were up to. Okay. What's our financial situation? 16,800. So let's talk about Alice Fund. I need your password to transfer Alice's payment onto a credit stick. Amsel sucks in a deep breath. He suddenly looks as if though an enormous weight has been lifted from his shoulders. Yes, very good. Excellent in fact. This has been a long time coming, Aunt May. Yeah, you're telling me. Amsel turns to open a file on his computer. Alright, Aunt May, before you make this transfer, there are a few things that you should know. Firstly, this is a one-way operation. Once the funds have been transferred to the credit stick, the only person who will be able to access them is Alice. As far as the team is concerned, the money will simply disappear. Well, it's not like we were planning on doing anything else with it anyway. Keep going. Secondly, once you make your way to the rabbit hole with the funds, it's go time. I trust that you understand what I mean by that. We drop everything and head straight to the rabbit hole. Correct. Once you've left to see Alice, her information will be your only priority. No more distractions and no more side work. I will busy myself cancelling your remaining jobs and smoothing any ruffled feathers. Anything else? Just that you need to be sure before committing to this. Time is important. A great dragon wants us dead, and that is not a thing to take lightly. But you shouldn't return to the rabbit hole until you are prepared to act. If you have any doubts, then I'd urge you to wait. Okay, not yet. It's your call, but remember, we are on a tight timetable. Even now, the Firewings agents could be closing in on us. Make your preparations, but do it quickly. All of our lives may depend on it. Speak with me again when you're ready to transfer the funds. Basically, I want to go shopping for that. That is all. I have to assume this is basically it. Is there any new stuff? No. Yeah, I'm not committing my money to anything. The thing is, what the hell am I been spending my points on if I can't get S-class drones, for example? That's the why not trace these if I can't get a Fairlight Excalibur? Yeah, these are a lot of these things are basically useless if I can't get those. So I'm going to save and say we're ready to commit. What the fuck else can I do? Just going to have to assume that we might be able to give a chance to spend our money at some point. Yeah, give me the password. Volklingen. I have to say, Aunt May, this lifts an enormous weight off my shoulders. When Monica brought you on board, I was initially unsure about you. I would never have said that to anyone else, of course, but I kept you under watchful eye. I can see now that I needn't have doubted for her judgment. She chose her successor well. Now please, go fetch the information from Alice. He claps a hand on your shoulder. We're one step closer to surviving this mess. I'm expecting some kind of a horse crap to drop on us right about now. I don't recall the password, by the way. I don't see why if you have the password, why can't you just see it there? Why do you have to go through this horse shit? Volklingen. It contributes nothing. Yeah, no, I don't really. Yeah. The funds disappear from your account. Yeah, we received the rest, 8,000. Sitting in its dock on the keyboard, a green light becomes to life on Alice's credit stick. The trigger has been pulled, the rabbit hole awaits. So 24,000, but again, nowhere to spend it on. We could get the better deck, but frankly, there has been no need for it so far. Still want to check if we could possibly get something a bit better. No. So I guess we're going. Nothing else we can do. So, let's go meet Alice.